So welcome traders, welcome. So welcome back to this live trading session, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, by the way, for those who are new here, I'm Ruffy Capacio, a technical trading analyst here at ACY Securities. I'm also a proprietary trader, and my trading approach is simply pure price action, technical analysis, and disciplined risk management. In this session, I'll walk you through my live market analysis, explain the reasoning behind every setup, and show you how I read the charts in real time. And now, I want you to be ready because there are a lot of markets that could potentially happen this live trading session. So a quick reminder before we begin, this is not a financial advice. This is simply my personal view of the markets based on price action and current market structure. Trading always involves risk. There are no guarantees. So make sure you manage your risk properly. Do your own research and never risk money you're not prepared to lose. So I want you guys to be exactly precise on taking risks, because all of my analysis is based on my opinion, and I want you guys to trade on your own risk. And now get your charts ready and let's get started. Now the first thing that we're going to do, we could actually watch a little bit on the fundamental side, knowing what could potentially happen this upcoming New York and London session. The same as always, we are going to actually see on FinLogix, go to economic calendar, only focusing rather on high impact news. Turn off low and medium impact. All we have to do is to focus on high impact news and today's news. As you can see, it already gives us an actual forecast on both the news that could potentially happen today. Now today is Wednesday, July 22, 2026. Now this two news has already have happened. It's actually giving us an exact forecast. There is a little bit bad forecast on JPY last Asia session, and after P-London started, GBP high impact news has already begun. Now giving us a bad impact on JBP, meaning JBP pairs are getting weaker, and also on JPY also. Now meaning this could actually a little bit affect giving volatility in the market. That is why we don't actually know what could potentially happen on the forecast. That is why all we did on the price action, we already plot some setups. News could just act as a catalyst, meaning we actually don't know what would happen, and only basing it as an actual indicator that could potentially give volatility in the markets. Now, let's start doing our charts. I want your charts to be ready, because once I'm doing my analysis, I want you guys to do your analysis also. Now, as you can see here, currently we are back at gold. Now, currently we are at the weekly chart. Looking at the weekly chart, price is creating this lower low structure. That is why I anticipated this massive sell, because lower high structure on the weekly chart has already been created. Therefore, I anticipate that the next move could have its weak pullback and massively push to the downside. The same on what happened here. Price creates this lower high structure. Right after it created, that's the only thing that I was anticipating, the massive push. But here, actually on the current price action on the weekly chart, it did not give us an exact move the same on the previous data. All we had is just to anticipate. We actually don't know what could the market could actually move. We actually don't know how could it move. All we had is to anticipate. Now looking at the weekly chart, market is clearly still in a bearish trend. I will still count this as the market is setting up for another sells. But looking at it, it is creating now its lower low structure. Meaning price is currently here, market's here, market is here. Therefore, the next thing could potentially happen is a bullish momentum for it to create another lower high, for it to continue to push to the downside. Therefore, we will anticipate a bullish move. Then probably we could catch some buys towards this pullback. Now, looking at the daily chart, sadly, I actually, how could I say this? I avoided a loss on gold because I was actively watching it last live trading session and last London session towards New York session. I was actively watching it. Now, right after here, I was actively watching it. Now, as you can see, it actually gave some massive bearish engulfing candlestick, but I was actually watching last London session. I was not actively watching last New York session. That is why I did not enter. It did not give me a clear engulfing candlestick, and I was looking for the 4-hour chart. Price has already shifted. You can clearly see it shifted above. That is why I was actually not interested in looking some sells. Now, looking at it, price is already having its move. Now, all I can see is what we could actually do right now is to react and adopt. Price, I thought it will just break a little bit above on this daily resistance, so that I will be interested in taking buys to retest this daily resistance or retrace back to this support level, so that I will look for buys. But actually, it moved a little bit higher. But the main thing here is, the best thing that I could do is to actually set up, how could I say this? I probably look this next week, because right now I actually don't think it's really good to actually trade right now, because it did not give me a proper price action so that I could actually react. But yeah, I think that's it for gold. At least we actually avoided a loss. This is part of the game. We actually don't know what would happen in the markets. All we had is to react and adapt on what the market is telling us. The market tells us it did not properly respect in our resistance zone. Then all we had to do is to react and adapt. Price broke out above. Wait for it to properly retest on this daily support level, back to its retracement, and look for buys right after it approaches back here. Because looking at the weekly chart, we are at the potential lows. Therefore, we will anticipate some buys on the lows, knowing in order for it to create another lower high, bullish momentum should need to be created. Then we are taking counter trend trade on gold. But the best thing that I could do to anticipate a much higher probability rather than taking a counter trend trade, I will look for the weekly to actually broke this previous structure here. I will wait for it to broke above, then look for the retracement at the daily chart. I will look for it to retracement back on this daily support level. Then I will be interested in buying this market. So I will wait. All I want to wait, the highest probability that I could catch this trade on gold. Wait for it to break above on this daily resistance zone, so that once price is above, we will wait for it to retrace back on this broken resistance zone that could potentially act as a support, and probably catch this trade towards the upside. I think that's it for gold. But the low probability that we could actually take on gold, wait for it to retrace back on this previous resistance level, wait for it to retrace, and enter buys right after it retrace back on this daily support level. This is the low probability. Retracement on this previous resistance level could potentially act as a support once price could retrace. The highest probability is wait for the price to break and retest on this resistance zone so that we could look for buys. That's it for gold. Just a simple setup, because The only thing that we could actually do is just to react and adapt, right? Like I've said, we will react and adapt on what is the market is showing us. The market show us that it did not properly respect on our resistance level. It actually broke above. You clearly see here, supposed to be this would be the exact setup, because I was actively waiting for my entry signal here last live trading session. It did not give me a proper entry signal. Price broke above, therefore I avoided a loss on gold. Now the best that we can do, wait for the both of the setup to play out, then we will be interested in looking or executing a trade on gold. On to the next. Now here, what is this? I think it is already cooking up for a massive sell. Now, NASDAQ. You can clearly see here on NASDAQ, on the weekly chart, price is already retesting this head and shoulder pattern. By the way, I have a recent blog on how to actually spot, on how to trade reversal pattern, or all you have to do is to go to ACY website. The link is in the description below. You can actually check out this recent blog that I have posted. All you have to do is to go to news and analysis, go to education. Now, I have a recent blog on how to actually spot, and there is a complete guide to spotting bullish and bearish trend reversal. Now, one most reliable reversal charts pattern that I actually use is the head and shoulder pattern. Once it is a head and shoulder pattern, this is how it actually forms. This is how a basic structure of a head and shoulders. Left, a head, and a right shoulder. Once price would break this neckline, then so that it will be validate, it will retest it back on the neckline so that it could continue to push to the downside. In a real chart, this is how it looks. Price create this left, head, right shoulder, retest on the neckline, push to the downside. Right? Now you can clearly see right after it retests the neckline, massively push to the downside. Now the market will repetitively happening. What will be the context on this head and shoulder pattern on NAS100 or NASDAQ? It is cooking up for the same pattern that always happen in the market. Market told actually giving us a story. That is why all we had to do is to actually look on the broader view on what is the market is telling us. Market is telling us it is forming a head and shoulder pattern at the highest point of the market. Knowing this kind of pattern is potentially cooking up for reversal. Meaning this happened, this head and shoulder pattern will form at the top because this is a bearish reversal pattern. Therefore, market is already telling us that it is potentially reversing, and clearly there is a massive bearish engulfing candlestick. What is this? A bearish engulfing candlestick. One of the candlesticks that you could actually use. Now, I have explained here also on my exact blog the top Japanese candlestick pattern that you could actually trade using or pairing with price action. Now, this is the exact or top Japanese pattern that you could use, the bullish engulfing and the bearish engulfing, right? Now, bearish engulfing is for sells, bullish engulfing is for buys. Now, you can clearly see here, right after a bullish engulfing close, massively push to the upside because it actually indicates that buyers are in control. On the bearish engulfing side, it will create its bearish engulfing at the lower high and act exactly at the resistance zone or level. After it closes like bearish engulfing like it, next thing could happen, a massive bearish momentum to the downside. Simple as it is, only looking on the candlestick pattern also with combination of reversal pattern. Looking at it on the current price action on US or NASDAQ or NAS100, price is retesting the neckline of a head and shoulder. This is the neckline, so that it could validate that it is this head and shoulder is validated. You can clearly see it is already retesting. Bearish engulfing has already been created at a weekly chart. Therefore, the market has already shifted from bullish to bearish. Therefore, market is clearly in a bearish trend on the weekly chart. Same also on the daily chart, because price creating this lower high, lower low structure. And price is below this key level, meaning this level could act as a resistance, meaning it is setting up for sells. Therefore, weekly is bearish, daily is bearish. Instantly gives us an instant confirmation that it is already good for sells, right? Now, market is clearly inside on our level. The next thing that we can do, look for our entry signal. Now, you can clearly see market is already actually have its bearish engulfing here. Right after it approaches, you can clearly see here price approaches back on our resistance level. On the 30-minute, price is retesting, bearish engulfing is created. Supposed to be that will be your entry, putting your stop loss a few pips above, and target a massive sell on in NAS100. Probably I will just target it here first, so that I will be much considerate. But if you want to be greedy, you could actually target right here. The most considerate take profit price is here. This key level that it could potentially react. There are reaction here, right? After price approaches, react. Then what will anticipate here? Potentially it could react also right exactly in this spot. That's it on NAS100. The best thing that you could do on this current price action, wait for the lower time frame to approach back on this resistance level, so that you can actually wait for your entry and execute some sells. That's it on NAS100 and NASDAQ. Right? There is a massive bearish engulfing and also a head and shoulder pattern on the weekly. And also on the daily, there is a head and shoulder pattern also. Therefore, giving us a confirmation that this setup is a high probability setup. That's it on NAS100. On to the next, Bitcoin. Now you can clearly see here, Bitcoin has already broke above on this weekly support level. Then all we have to do, price is already having its breakout, then we could potentially look now for buys. All we have to do is to delete those support levels, so that we could actually focus only on the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, price is already above. On the daily, price already broke above on this weekly resistance level. All we have to do is to look for a much better rejections. Any bullish candlestick rejections. If you want to master how to actually know what are the bullish candlestick confirmation, all you have to do is to go to ACY website, read this exact blog about the mastering Japanese candlestick pairing up with price action analysis. Now all you have to do is to wait this kind of candlestick confirmation. If we are looking for buys on Bitcoin or BTC USD, then look for bullish candlestick confirmation like this bullish engulfing, and also this bullish pin bars, bullish haramis, and also doji candlestick and morning stars. That's it. All we have to do is just to be patient, wait for it to actually gives us a bullish candlestick confirmation, so that we can actually execute this trade. Once candlestick confirmation has been created, wait for your entry signal, putting your stop loss a few pips below. Target a 1 is to 2.5 risk reward. That's it on Bitcoin. Price already have its broke out on this consolidation zone. Then all we have to do is to actually react and adapt. So that's it on Bitcoin. You could actually screenshot this exact weekly support level and plot it on your chart, and you can actually see on how the market broke out on this resistance level. Price is above, possibly it could act as a support to have its massive push to the upside. On to the next, USD CHF. As you can see, price already stopped me out. I already explained this is this kind of move. I will execute this trade every single time once it gives me this kind of setup. It is higher probability market didn't play out. This kind of loss, I will actually say this is a good trade. It really hit my stop loss. This is my stop loss, is where I place it. It actually pushed a little bit higher, giving me a confirmation that I'm really totally wrong for the setup. Now, I think that's it on USD CHF. The best thing that I could do is probably look for other pairs that I could actually analyze. Same thing on USD CHF. It did not play on what we expected. Price broke above. It did not properly respect on this weekly resistance level. Market is just actually doing its thing. We don't know what will be the exact outcome or its movement in the market. All we had is to react previously. This is how I actually anticipate that it could have a potential massive sell, because every time price approaches this level, there's a massive push, right? This approaches this level, push to the downside. Approach back, push, back, push, back, push. Here, the same move, bearish engulfing candlestick, wait for the retracement, anticipating the massive push to the downside, but it did not play it out. That's it. Let the market do its thing. We actually don't know what will be the outcome. I will take this kind of trade every single time. Now on to the next. NZD CAD. It is already having a retracement back on this daily and weekly support. All we had to do, because I see that every time price reach this level, you clearly see here, it will actually get back to the support level. Here, price approach and consolidate right inside this area. Probably there is a strong resistance level right here. Here, resistance, 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 resistance. Price already approached the level. It reacted right after. Right? So, looking at it, probably the best thing that I could do is to actually look for other pairs to trade. AUD CAD, still the same. Price is not broke on this daily support level. The same thing, I will anticipate the price to actually break this support level so that I will be interested in selling this pair. Okay? Now, on to the next, JBP AUD. Sadly, what a best move. It actually on what we anticipated, price actually moved right after. It actually just weak retested, massively pushed to the downside. I anticipated this move. You can actually rewatch the previous live trading session, but sadly, I got left out. I actually was anticipating it to have a much deeper retracement so that I will look for sells. But sadly, it just touched my exact resistance level. And the next thing happened, a push to the massive push to the downside. Probably if I executed this trade, putting my stop loss a few pips above, supposed to be I already closed a 1:2.5 risk reward. But I got left out. Right after price approaches this level, it just wicked on my resistance level. The body did not actually reach on my exact resistance level. You can clearly see here, market did just actually massively push, did not properly retest. It only actually stopped here. It's way too far from my exact resistance level. Now here, market is having its reaction. Now it did not properly retrace, but the best thing that I did is that I anticipated this massive sales. It happened, right? If you actually attended this live trading session yesterday, hopefully you actually watched on how I anticipated it. I even actually posted the exact market analysis on this setup on JBP-AUD. Now you can actually watch the previous live trading session and how I anticipated it. Now, this is how I anticipated the GBP-AUD sells. Now, as you can see here on the market analysis, I have the exact blog here. I posted it yesterday that the market is already setting up for sells, right? Here, you can clearly see we will wait for the price to break, wait for the retest so that we can actually enter some sells, right? The same move, what happened? Break, weak retest, massively push to the downside. Simple as that. I anticipated the massive sell, but sadly I did not catch it. I was not actively watching it, and I actually just followed my plan. That's the only thing, that I will wait for it to properly retrace, but it did not properly retrace. It just wick, push to the downside. Now there's still a lot of trades that we could actually take. This is not the only opportunities that we had this week. So much better. Trade is already gone. Hit our exact target price or take profit area. The best thing that we can do is to look for other pairs. Now Euro AUD. On Euro AUD, price is at a potential higher low and still inside the consolidation zone. Price is inside this consolidation zone. There's a weekly support below and a weekly, a weekly support below and a daily resistance above. The best thing that we could do once price is inside this consolidation zone, wait for the price to break and retest above. So that wait for the retracement. Right after the retracement, look for buys, or wait for the break and retest of this weekly support, wait for the retracement, then after, look for sells. That's it on Euro AUD. Simple as that. Sadly, GBP AUD actually left us out, right? So like I've said on GBP AUD, we will wait for the retracement. Like I have predicted that if this actually retraced here, it will this previous daily support will act as a resistance because price is below, and also retest this double top pattern. There's a double top, the first top and second top. By the way, I have posted an exact blog on how to master reversal pattern. You can actually check it out. Now you can actually see here a double top was created. Price broke this neckline. Right after it broke the neckline, retrace on this resistance level here, and right after, what happened? A massive push to the downside. Right now, you can actually see on this exact blog that I have posted, it has the same pattern on this exact price action on JBP-AUD. Now, you can clearly see here, double top pattern, a bearish reversal pattern. First top, second top. Once price broke the neckline, for it to be validated, it will retrace, retest the neckline so that it can continue to push its reversal from uptrend to downtrend. This is how it looks like on a price action. Price creates the first top, second top, broke the neckline right after a massive push to the downside. Now the same move, what happened here on JBP-AUD, price, like I anticipated, this is how it actually looks like before the move. This is how it looks like last Monday. Like I've said, we will wait for the price to properly break the neckline and also this daily support. So once retested, it will retest as a resistance and also the neckline of a double top. Now look what happened right after on the 4-hour chart. This is how it looks like on a 4-hour chart in GBP/AUD. Price broke below, weak retested, massively pushed to the downside. Right? That is how simple this is how simple it is. Anticipated the move without even looking what could potentially happen on the macro or the fundamental sides of the market. Because I was not actively caring about the news, I only anticipating this move based only the price action itself, based on what the market is telling me, not knowing what could potentially happen on the news. Right here, you can actually see on this exact forecast on JBP, there is a bad forecast, meaning JBP is weaker or potentially get weaker. Now looking at it on the current price action, we are trading JBP/AUD. Now look what happened. Price action or technicals or fundamentals follow technicals based on my price action. I was not looking on news. I was only basing it on the price action. Look what happened. If you actually sell JBP/AUD, meaning you are betting for JBP to get weaker and AUD could get stronger. Therefore, it aligns with the news because we are selling AUD, meaning we are actually betting that AUD could get stronger and JBP get weaker. Now, on the exact forecast on news, there is a bad forecast, meaning JBP could get weaker, right? It is not a coincidence on what happened on my price action setup on JBP/AUD. That is why this actually moves like this, because the actual forecast that they release is JBP is getting weaker. Then this will be the reason why this is have its massive push to the downside, right? I was not watching it. I was only basing it on the price action. Like I've said, news could just act as a catalyst, meaning it could actually give volatility towards either in a good or in a bad side, right? Meaning whether it could hit your stop loss or take profit, as long as the news could give us volatility. That's it. Because even though it could hit my stop loss or take profit, the only thing I care about is I manage my risk, right? Risking only risking only that I'm willing to lose in the market. That is why I'm not caring what could potentially happen on my setups. So yeah, any question about it, feel free to ask. Now, let's simplify this, that what could potentially happen first. Gold, wait for the retracement on this support level so that we will look for buys right after it retrace back, or wait for the break and retest of this resistance zone so that we could actually look for a higher probability setup on gold. Now NAS100, all we have to do is to wait for the lower time frame to approach back on our resistance, look for any entry signal so that we can catch a massive or a 1:2.5 risk reward trade or set up on NAS100 or NASDAQ. Next, Bitcoin. All we had to do, price already approaches our weekly support. Wait for a proper candlestick confirmation, whether it is a bullish engulfing, whether it is a pin bar, whether it is a harami, whether it is a wick, or whether it is a morning star. As long as it is a bullish candlestick confirmation, right after that bullish engulfing confirmation, look for your entry signals in the lower time frame. That's it on Bitcoin. USD/CHF, I will one of my good trades, even though this is a loss, I will still count this as a good trade. I followed my plan, executed basing only my technical plan in the markets, executing once price is inside the resistance level, executing a sell once price giving me my exact confirmation, executing my sells once price is already giving me my entry signal on a precise session. I entered this trade right exactly pre-London start. Therefore, I followed my plan. So yeah, that's it on USD setup. The best thing that I could do, I will wait for a much better price action setup so that I will be interested in selling or buying this pair. AUD CHF, it did not properly rejected on our weekly resistance. Much better to look on other markets. NZD CAD, the same thing. Price already hit our take profit price. AUD CAD, wait for a massive break of the support level so that we will be interested in executing sells on AUD CAD. Lastly is JBP UD already anticipated a move, but sadly I got left out. They did not execute the trade because it did not properly retrace back on my resistance level. But the best thing that I could do is I anticipated this move to the T. From A to Z. That is how I anticipated this move on JBP AUD. Now next, Euro AUD price is inside the consolidation zone. Wait for any breakout above or below this weekly resistance so that we will be executing any trades that could potentially play out on Euro AUD. So I think that is it. So by the way, we have inclusive Discord community. Inside this Discord community, I will be sharing a much deeper insight on how I trade and also how I analyze the market. It is for free and inclusive, only those who will potentially join. Feel free to join, just scan this QR code and there is a link in the description below. And if you're still learning or don't have time to analyze the market, you can actually check out our trading cup. You'll be able to follow experienced traders and copy trades in real time while learning how trades are managed professionally. It is a simple way to involve in a market without overcomplicating the process. The link is in the description below. You can actually check out our trading cup, because if you don't want to actually execute your own trade, there are a lot of traders that actually use their strategy, profitable strategy in the markets. And if you want other people to actually trade your own capital, you could actually copy them. They could just automatically copy their trades. That's it. A lot of higher probability traders who actually joined here. And yeah, but if you want to actually execute the trades that I have actually shared right on this live trading session, you can you can just sign up with ACY Securities and start trading. So yeah, I think that is it. It's just a quick live trading session, just a quick market updates, because two of our markets has already they did not play out as expected, but it's part of the plan. Market will just do its thing. But at least, even though we got left out on JBP AUD, did not properly retrace. That is why I did not execute the trade. Gold, we avoided the loss. It did not give me my entry signal on my exact session. And also, we take a loss on USD CHF. It's part of the game, right? So let me actually give you this kind of saying, because I actually learned this from my mentor. He said like your one day loss won't define your week, right? And your week loss doesn't define your month. Your monthly loss doesn't define your whole year P&L. So whatever it is, you need to actually know that one loss won't define on whole your trading experience. Okay? That is how trading works. Market will just do its thing. But in time, if you actually properly manage your exact risk, and also you will master it. Probably you will understand in the long term, because trading is not a race, it is a marathon. Whoever is going to survive first, whoever who is going to last and to survive long, then those are the people who could actually win in trading. So if you think trading is a fast money thing, I think you're already wrong. It is like, let me give you an analogy. Trading is just the same as how doctors actually do. In order for you to actually do some surgery from exact person, you need to master the exact skill. The same as trading. In order for you to actually have profit in the markets and also make money, then you need to actually master the skills first before you will actually profit or make money in the markets. That's it. All of it is the same term, but the best thing on trading is that it is not the same on different course or any professional works, because you need to actually study for 4 years or 5 years in that exact course. But on trading, you could actually just learn it for about a few months, 6 months, probably 1 to 2 years of grind, or any, if you actually really passionate in trading, in time you will actually understand. So yeah, I think that is it for this live trading session. So hopefully you are ready to take some trades that I've shared you guys. Let me actually give you guys back again. The only setups that are left is Euro AUD. GBP or AUD has already gone. Probably I won't look at. Probably I could just look at by next week. But I'm really just actually giving you guys a transparent thing that my strategy works. Like I've said, you can rewatch my previous live trading session on how I anticipated this move on GBP AUD. Simple as it is, using only price action, anticipated this massive retest. Sadly, I got left out, but and also I actually followed my plan really precisely. Now, the only thing that is left on this week is Euro AUD, the breakout of the consolidation zone, and Bitcoin properly give us a candlestick or bullish candlestick confirmation, so that we will be looking for buys. And lastly is NAS100. So yeah, I think those three is those three markets are the actual markets that is left for our setup. So yeah, and I think that is it. So if you found value in this session, so make sure to smash the like button and subscribe so you never miss the daily market outlooks, the live breakdowns, the high probability price action setup that I've shared throughout the week. I appreciate you all for being here. Hope you got value from today's live trading session. Stay disciplined, manage your risk. Once price approaches our level and once we executed some trades, all we have to do is to set and forget. So have a great day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next live trading session. See you guys.